So hello, I'm out today. I've got a new microphone set up. I gave it a bit of a test yesterday. It seemed to be working okay, so hopefully it's going to be working all right today. So it's a lovely summer's day. It's in May, the start of May. Or it could be the middle of May, you know, I can't remember exactly. Anyway, it's May and 2026, lovely and warm today. So I thought I'd come out and have a ride. It's a Saturday, but I was working a bit this morning. I've got a busy week coming up, so I was preparing for this week this morning, and I thought, you know, I need to get out because the weather's so nice. Go and have a little bit of a ride, have a bit of a break, and then go back to it later on this afternoon, do a bit of work tonight. Just to let you know, I'm self-employed and I'm an apprenticeship assessor. So I interview people that are at the end of their apprenticeship, usually IT, software, that type of thing, and I see if they've hit the criteria for their apprenticeship, and thoroughly enjoy it. I've been doing it for a few years as an assessor. It's only been the last, well, just over 12 months now. I've been self-employed, got my own company for just over a year, and I work for a couple of organisations who employ me on a freelance basis, and the nice thing is it gives me the opportunity to first of all work where I want, when I want to, which is nice. It gives me the opportunity as well to come out in the week if I want to. So if I've got no prep to do and I've got no assessments to do, then I can go out with my brother and we can go for a ride, go to a coffee shop and have something nice to drink and eat. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, so self-employed. I had years of being employed and being afraid of being made redundant, which I was made redundant quite a few times, to be honest with you, with different situations. And it was over a year ago I was made redundant once again. The organisation I worked for hadn't got all the work that they needed to keep me fully employed, so I was made redundant. And I've decided at that point I'm going to try and do this on my own, because previously when I'd been made redundant I've got a family. I still have a family, but my two daughters don't live with us anymore, so it does mean that some of the responsibility has been taken away. I still have mortgage to pay, but at the end of the day I haven't got to worry about the daughters. It's just me and the wife, and so far it's worked out really well. I've had times where there's been quiet months and times where I've been totally inundated with work, and I'm a little bit like that at the moment, so having to work at the weekends in preparation for the week coming, well, it's all good, isn't it? I don't mind having to work weekends or late in the evening, because the money is going to my company. I say organisation, I'm a limited company, but it goes into my company, and it's all for mine and Kate's benefit. So you don't mind doing that, do you? explain where I am. On the outskirts of Wellingborough, Northamptonshire. That's where I live, Northamptonshire, and also my brother, who's the other half of Old Time Bikers. He lives in Wellingborough area, and I live around Earthlingborough. And he's semi-retired these days, so he has a lot of free time. I haven't quite got that luxury yet, but I've still got, obviously, as I was saying, I've got freedom where I didn't have before. So we go out quite regularly. So I better explain. I'm 60 years old. Neil's a little bit older than me, a couple of years older than me. He's been riding bikes for years. Has a full license, but I had a moped when I was younger, 18, 19 year old. Had a moped, 50cc job, and like a lot of people, went from a moped, rather than going on a larger bike, I went down the car route. Always had an interest in bikes, but never had one. And then a year ago, my brother Neil decided he was going to go on the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, and asked me if I'd like to join him, and I did, and I was a pillion on his big Triumph Thunderbird that he's got. And oh, it was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Loved being with all the other bikers and seeing the bikes, and just enjoying the sensation of being on a bike again, leaning into corners and all that good stuff that we do. And it was at that point I decided I really would like to have a bike again. So I was going to do the direct taxis, so that means you go from having no bike license at all to having a full bike license, which you could ride literally any size bike you wanted to. Obviously you've got to think about the insurance on that. It's going to, you know, you go for a real big bike as a new rider, you might not be able to afford it, you know, it might cripple you. Might be able to afford the bike but not the insurance. Anyway, that's what I was going to do, and I was going to go for something like a 900cc, and I worked it out. I could just about afford the bike and the insurance. It was going to cost an awful lot of money, mind you. And then I thought, on reflection, no, it's one sure way to eat all your money up, and also be quite dangerous, because even though, you know, a larger bike only goes as fast as you turn the throttle, I could see that I could potentially get myself into a lot of problems. So I decided that what I'd do is I'll just literally do the CBT, get myself a 125 and be on L plates, and have a year or so getting more experience on the road as a biker. It's a different sort of driving, if you like, compared to driving a car. You know, you've got, obviously you're far more vulnerable, we know that, but it's all about learning where you're going to have your, you know, where you're going to position yourself on the road, which you don't have to think about too much in a car. You know, you just tend to ride down the middle of your lane, but on a bike you've got a few positions that you could be in. I'll demonstrate in a minute once we get over this roundabout. Now, for all the bikers, you know this, so I'm, you know, not trying to teach you how to suck eggs. It's just for anybody that's, you know, not a biker, and it's just interesting. So, looking at the lane in front of me at the moment, I can either go to the left-hand lane, left-hand side. That is position 1, that's what we call it, and then in the middle here, position 2, which is not a nice position because you've got all the grit and rubbish tends to sit here. And then you've got position 3, which is over here on the right hand side. So you've got positions 1, 2 and 3 going across the lane. A lot of people think as I'm coming to the corner here that I'm going to be in position 3, which is at the apex, you know, trying to cut the corner short. Well, you can do that if you're a speed demon and you're trying to get around the corner quickly, but for me, I'm a leisurely rider and I don't want to do that. So when we're coming up to a corner, I'll show you what I mean. I tend to sit, if it's a left-hand corner, I'll sit on the right-hand side of the road to where I am now, and the reason for that is I can actually see further around the corner here, so I can see if there's a car coming in. The same, I'd, you know, going around a right-hand corner, I would sit over here on the left-hand side, so I can again see up the road more. I'll demonstrate that a bit better when we're riding along. Well, for instance here, so left-hand corner, I sit on the right-hand side. I can see far more up the road than I would do if I was sitting on the other side. Right, so I've got a bike coming, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to kill the bike so I don't get afraid. I'll just put the pump back on. My pleasure. You've only got the 1 horsepower then, yeah? That's my pleasure. Enjoy your ride. So that's nice, let them go by a little bit. There we go. Start up and off we go. Now I've got an indicator flashing there, a warning light about the battery. It's only because I run an awful lot from the bike, and to be honest with you, I overload the alternator battery a little bit, so it just means that when I stop for any length of time I have to give the bike a couple of pips on the throttle just to keep the revs up and keep the voltage up. I know what I should really do is just disconnect some of these things, but I tend to want these things working for me, making my life a little bit easier really. So yeah, so I was talking about the position. So it was things like that that I thought, you know, if I do direct access, they'll teach me all of that, but it's possible that with all the other things you have to learn as well, and being in control of a larger bike, it may not be something that I'd concentrate on very much. You know, it might be a case of just holding on for dear life, you know, because you've got such a powerful bike. So I decided, there's a lovely little old bike there. Anyway, so I thought, yeah, do CBT, learn about how to ride on the road before I start getting anything larger. And then the plan will be, as soon as I've got my license, my A license rather than my CBT, I'll go for something like a 350, because I don't need, you know, like a 900cc bike. It might be nice to have that to, you know, go cruising across the country. And yeah, it's got a lot of power when you're, or usually they've got a lot of power, you know, you turn the throttle and off you go. My riding isn't like that. I'm not a commuter, I'm not a speed demon, I'm somebody that just likes pootling around the countryside. That's what Neil and myself do, the old time bikers. We're all about going out and enjoying the scenery, going to nice places, not worrying about how quickly we can get there, but enjoying the ride. So the destination is part of our journey. The journey itself is the important thing, enjoying it. So here, for instance, we've got, you know, a lovely car park by Pixford Reservoir. In fact, we'll go in there and I'll take time to show you around the bike. There are a lot of bikers out today. A lot of them give me a nod. So we'll go in here, we'll go somewhere quiet. Hopefully at the end it tends to be a bit quiet down there. And I'll show you around the bike. No, I shouldn't really. Well, it doesn't say it's one way, but a lot of cars do come up this way. Mind you, look, he's parked facing this direction, so obviously he's come along. Right, so come down here and we'll turn around and I'll show you the bike and tell you a little bit about it. I got people there, look, having a lovely barbecue. Great time to have a barbecue, great weather as well. So I shall just park myself, I think, about here, out of the way a bit. Obviously anybody comes I can move the bike, but there we go. So I'll turn it off. No, I'll keep it on for the minute. So this is the bike. I have a Zontes ZT125-GK. It's only 125cc. You can see I've got the old plates on there. I've got additional lighting on there as well, so it's all about, you know, being seen, being safe. The bottom lights there at the moment aren't working. It was just too much strain on the battery. So there she is. I've got a rear hugger on the back there, not to make it look sporty, it's just to stop the rain splashing up on my back. A couple of bags to keep my bits and bobs in. And then at the top here I've got, first of all, I've got the Android Auto sat-nav. That connects to my phone. My phone's currently in the bag behind us, just there. Then I'll see the main the main display. The thing at the bottom there is a voltmeter, because as I say, I do hit my battery quite hard, so I keep my eye on the voltage there. This is a new addition. This is a top of quad lock thing, and I have it on there to control. Usually, I have a RAM mount sitting on here with a 360 camera on, and rather trying to operate the 360 from you know, the thing, the 360 camera itself. I do it from an app on the phone. It's a bit easier, and also you can see it's recording as well. What else? Oh yeah, I've raised the handlebars because I get a bit of shoulder problem, so I've put some handlebar risers on, and then the screen just to protect me more in the winter, because I'm not a fair weather rider. I was going to be, but I'm an all year rider by the look of it. Was out all of the summer. So I'll just show you the lights while we're at it. So I've also got extra lights on the back here. So on the bags, or just in front of the bags, and then they're the lights. Maybe you can see them. They're the lights on the front. So all about being seen. Right. And if anybody's anything stupid in front of me, I'll give them the shot with the lasers. Right, so let's make a move. We're going to go out of here. We're going to go, yeah, we're going to go left. Go to Brixworth. Have a look around there. Just enjoy the afternoon for a bit before I have to go back and do some more work. So we just put the sat nav on. Go. The reason I've got it on is partly sometimes I like to know how to get back, because even though I've lived in Northamptonshire all my life, being on the bike, I get to places where I would normally not go. And as such, sometimes I get myself a bit lost, as in where the heck am I? And the obviously the sat nav helps me then if I want to get back. But it also, like now, is tracking where I've been, because sometimes I like to on the videos put a map of where I've been and yeah, the route that I've been doing. Just as we've got a bike behind us, Came out of the car park with us, I believe. It doesn't look like it's got an L plate on it, so it looks like it's more likely larger than us. So it might go zooming by a minute. It's one thing about being out on the bike. You see all these other bikers, everybody, well I say everybody, the majority of people do like to give you a nod and a wave. It's sort of like I don't have a rule or something. It's just something that we do, and it's really nice. And when you meet up with people, it's great. You know, everybody's very friendly. So we're doing the DGR again, the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. Almost that right. Let's try again. The Distinguished Gentleman's Ride 2026. And part of it I want to do is just so I can meet other bikers, but also enjoy looking at their bikes. Sometimes people don't do anything to their bikes, then some people do a bit of customising like I've done on this, and then sometimes they go completely haywire and turn their bikes into, well, I would say works of art. Some of them are absolutely superb with the paintwork that they do on them. They really are impressive. I think if I was going to, you know, keep a bike for any length of time, then I'd customise the bike more. But at the minute, I've customised this bike not to make it look something special. It's more practicality rather than anything else. Because I don't think I'll be keeping it all my life. You know, I think one day I will be going for a larger engine, something like a 350. As I was saying, that's the sort of size bike I want to get. I didn't finish that off, did I? I was saying about, you know, if I go for 350, it was ideal for bimbling around the countryside. Should you want to go onto a dual carriageway and get you know, 70 mile an hour, it will do it comfortably. Wouldn't do much more than that, but at the end of the day, that's the speed limit, isn't it? You know, 70 mile an hour, some on the motorway, and a 350 will do it. It's not, you know, a speed demon, and I'm talking about the Royal Enfields now, because I'm thinking about I'd like to have a Hunter or a Meteor, single cylinder, air cooled, J series engine. Neil has got the Hunter. He had that literally, I believe, a week, if I remember correctly, it was a week after I got this. Oh dear. Yeah, after a week after I had this, he took delivery of the 350, Hunter 350. Again, that was brand new. And he got that really so that we would go out together on bikes of smaller capacity, because he had got at the time a Scrambler 900 and the Thunderbird 900 as well. He's got rid of the Scrambler now, and he's got a Vogue DS6 625, an adventure bike. That's a really nice bike, it really is. Too big for me, I can't get my feet down on the blooming thing. So he got rid of the Scrambler for the Vogue. So he's got three bikes. He's got the Thunderbird, the Vogue, and the Hunter 350, and he tends to come out with me on the 350. And very nice bike. I've sat on it. It's very comfortable. It's actually lower than this bike as well. With this bike, even though I've dropped the suspension a bit, I'm still a little bit on tiptoes now and again, and on the Hunter I'm almost flat-footed. So anyway, yeah, we'll see. see there, people tend to give you a nod. Now, I hope you knew all right. I've shut the visor down, and I'm aware that there's quite a bit of noise from my visor, so a bit of whistling, so I'll open it back up again now, and I'll slow it down. But this is Stratton. Yeah, quaint little village. Very lucky around Northamptonshire. We've got some great villages, and I'm sure you have, you know, wherever you live, you've got some great villages. But here, look, we've got a lot of thatched buildings. I don't know if it's any, you know, if it's unusual that we've got so many, or if that's true around all the country. Again, it's because I've sort of like woken up to the villages around this area because of the riding that I'm doing. Sort of like being introduced to them almost, and seen all these great villages. Because normally, driving my car, I'd have no need to come up through here. You know, if I was going to go anywhere in the car, it's because I have a purpose to go somewhere, and I tend to do that on the major roads. You know, the A45 or A509, that sort of thing. I don't really want to come down through the country roads. But again, on the bike it's different, because the whole idea is to go out and enjoy the ride, not the, you know, not the destination. Getting to the destination, yeah. In fact, Neil and myself are participating in an event that's going on at the moment called Bike and Brew. So yeah, and it's an official thing. You pay, I think it's £10 to get, they call it the passport, but it's a book of a couple of hundred or so cafes and restaurants that are participating in it. And the idea is you go to one of these places, you get yourself a nice cup of coffee, get your book stamped, and away you go. You think, well, what's the point in that? Well, you get to see all these places again that you necessarily wouldn't have gone to beforehand. So we've been to places around Northamptonshire, had some great drinks and food, reasonable price, cooked fantastically. I didn't even know they existed, but now we do. So, you know, when the Bike and Brew finishes, which will be around October time, we'll still have a list of all these places that are literally on our doorstep, but also ones further afield as well. And we'll do it next year, because, oh, well, I say, yeah, it'll be next year, because at the moment, not every place, you know, around the country, and this is a countrywide thing, by the way, not every place in the country has participated. So the next time it comes round, we might find there are some others that have joined, some have dropped off maybe. But it's all about you know, finding these places, but at the same time, where we can, support these businesses. Now, it's all well and good going to your local McDonald's to pick a cup of coffee up as you're, you know, riding around because you're thirsty, but they really don't need the money, do they? McDonald's doesn't need my couple of quid for them to survive. They're making millions a day, so they can do without my couple of quid, and I'd rather give it to, or pay a little bit more, you know, £4 or £5, get a cup of coffee, something to eat, maybe £7, sometimes a tenner, let's be honest, right? But it's going to a good cause, isn't it? It's going to a small company, small little business, family business maybe, helping them to continue. Certainly in this day and age, where, you know, all the corporate organisations are trying to take every penny they can from everybody. Greed, basically. the smaller companies, smaller little businesses, they're the ones that suffer. And ultimately, families then that suffer as well, people suffer. So if my tenner can help them, keep them going, and I've got a great experience, got nice food and drink, sitting in lovely surroundings with nice people, well, that's worth 10 quid any day of the week for me. I'd rather give it to them. You know what I'm saying. So that's the whole idea that I think of the bike and brew. Now there is an element of it. If it's almost like a competition. For I believe every 10 places you visit, it enables you to have a ticket in a draw, which will happen in October. And I believe, oh look at that, I believe the first prize is a new bike, or a bike. Now that'd be nice. It's no good to me because I'm on a 125, but yeah, if I got it I could sell it, or I could do my license and blah blah blah. But I don't do it for that. Neither myself, I'm doing it for the competition. Obviously we're doing it because it gives us an excuse to get out on the bike and go and visit and adventure, or have adventures in places that again we may not have thought about going. So if you're a biker and you're not taking part of it, if you go to, or if you go and see any restaurant or cafe locally and they make it known that they're participating, sometimes they have a sticker in the label, a little poster saying that they're participating. They tend also to have the passports as well, the books. You pick one up for a tenner and that's it, off you go. You get your book stamped when you go to any of these cafes, and on the website as well there's a list of all the places, so you could think about, well, where shall I go? You could plan a bit of a route, and I suppose you could do all of that without actually participating, without buying a book. But well, what's the fun in that? It's nice to see how many stamps you can get. Myself, we've got about 14 or 15 at the moment, and we've got to a point where one of our pages is nearly full, and we thought, wow, the challenge for us then is we're going to have to go to this other place to go and get this final stamp for that page. We get nothing for it, it's no sort of prize for filling a page. It's not like bingo. It's just a challenge for yourself, well, let's see if we can fill a page up, and then what's the next page we're going to look at filling, because it's a bit of fun. It gives us a purpose to be out on the bike. Anyway, that's enough whittering on about bike and brew. Thoroughly love it, and if you're a biker and you're not participating, give it a go. I'm sure you would enjoy it, and for the price of the £10 for the passport book, well, it's a bargain. So I'm going to look at the time. It's 20 to 5, and my wife, Kate, normally doesn't work on a weekend, but she's worked this Saturday, and it worked out nicely because I was working and she's working. But she'll be finishing. Well, she thought she'd be finishing about 4 o'clock, but so she works in a really nice tea room. It's called the Watermill over in Stanwick, again Northamptonshire. And you know, when it's busy they stay open for a bit longer, so I don't exactly know what time she'll be getting home, but I should really start making my way back. I've had a lovely little ride out. So all I'm going to do now is I'm literally going to plan to go home. I'll keep the video going, but unless something happens which is worth having a talk about, I'll leave the video. Look at that idiot. I'll leave the video going for a bit longer, and then I'll stop it. So anyway, look, thanks for joining me. Thanks for spending time, spending a bit of your time with me out on this ride today. It's much appreciated. So until next time, thank you very much for joining me. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and be safe out there.